Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are back with more Warhammer The Old World battle reports. This time I'll be taking the Night Goblins versus Javier's High Elves once again. It will be 1,000 points and the army list will be in the description below, just so it'll be easier to follow along. I'll be back with the table and the mission. So here is the table for today's game. The giant cave entrance is an impassable terrain. So is the rocky outcrop. There's a forest in the back, a large hill. The pond is difficult terrain, and one more impassable terrain. The mission is the first one, which is basically kill each other. So here is the deployment for the High Elves. Javier has the large 20-man block of Lothern Sea Guard to his left with the level 2 mage, with the items again in the description below. We have then the 15-man block of the Swordmaster of Hoeth with his general, a High Elf noble, who has again the equipment will be just in the description. We have the 5 Sisters of Avalorn hiding in the forest. The Turnok chariot is on his right flank, and there is one more unit of sisters who are ambushing. Then my army, I have the Night Goblin boss on Giant Squig next to the 6 Squig Hoppers. Then more into the center, we have my General and the level 2 Shaman with a 15-man unit of Night Goblins, 2 Stone Trolls, a Doom Diver in the back, 12 Cave Squigs with 3 Handlers, and a 15-man unit of Night Goblins with Spears once again. So here's the army. Now moving forward, here are the 2 spells my level 2 Shaman got, and here are the 3 spells Javier's Wizard has. Turn 1 went to the High Elves. Pretty straightforward turn. The Sea Guard moved, I believe, an inch or 2. The High Elf Mage followed behind the Swordmaster of Hoeth, who moved only 4 inches, and the Turnok just came all the way down the right flank, eyeing most likely the Doom Diver catapult. Wrapping up the High Elves turn 1, Javier's Wizard got Tempest in the middle. My Shaman failed to dispel it. That unit lost a Night Goblin, and the Cave Squigs lost 2 from the Sisters of Avalorn and the Lothern Sea Guard, so not too bad yet. Here's the overview of the table. Wrapping up my turn for Goblins. Wasn't too eventful, but my Shaman managed to get off the glittering robes. Both the trolls passed their stupidity, and the whole army essentially marched as fast as they could towards the center of the table. My Squig Hoppers only rolled an 11, and the boss only rolled a 9, so trying to get a flanking charge. The Doom Diver did attempt to shoot the Swordmasters, but it completely scattered off. And to recap the magic, the spell Tempest is between my boss's regiment and the Lothern Sea Guard. His level 2 wizard still has Drain Magic, so here's the end of turn 1 completely. On to High Elves turn 2. The army did not move. Tempest and Drain Magic are still up. The biggest part was the Turnok chariot tanked my Fanatic, who I released. I rolled a hit and rolled a 1 to wound, so pretty uneventful. Recapping High Elves turn 2 shooting, he managed to kill 2 Cave Squigs and a Handler. A slight rules question came up of how to split the wounds. We just decided by ratio it would work out, so it ended up being 2 of the Cave Squigs and 1 of the Herders. Then the only other damage was the Lothern Sea Guard managed to kill 3 Squig Hoppers. The Turnok chariot did nothing to the Doom Diver. On to Goblins turn 2. Due to Tempest, my Squig Hoppers moved 8, but -1 for difficult terrain. The boss had the same effect. My War Boss failed the Fungus Wine onto the unit, but these 2 Stone Trolls passed their stupidity and managed to get out of the charge arc of the Swordmaster of the Hoeth. I'm keeping my Cave Squigs for a counter charge, and my other unit of Goblins released the Fanatic, getting ready for a counter charge on the Swordmasters or getting ready to hunt down the Sisters of Avalorn, who who are hiding in the forest. To conclude my shooting for turn 2, the Doom Diver targeted the Sword Masters. With the scattering, he managed to only move 2 inches off target, killing 3 of them total. So pretty eventful. To conclude, High Elves turn 3, the Swordmaster of Hoeth got 2 fanatics to the face. One died by rolling doubles. The other one did kill 4 of them, I believe. The remaining fanatic rolled doubles and died. His Turnock Chariot continued to move closer to my Doom Diver, and finally, the ambushing unit rolled the 4+, right behind my boss on the gigantic cave squig, most likely going to target it. He did get off the Fury or Wrath of Cain onto the Swordmaster of Hoeth from the level 2 as well. Turn 3 shooting from the High Elves. The Lothern Seaguard completely killed my Squig Hopper unit. The 5 Sisters ambushing did a wound on my War Boss on the Squig, but I passed my ward save. Then the Turnock did a wound onto my Doom Diver Chariot. Here is the overview of turn 3 with the big important combat coming up soon. At the end of High Elf's turn 3 combat, one of the biggest swings in the game, as you can see, the Swordmaster of Hoeth completely won and ran down the Night Goblin unit with my General and Shaman. Just due to some poor placement on the Shaman, my boss couldn't really attack, and after all of his guys swung first with the initiative bonus and the charge bonus, I got my my General's 1 attack back, and it pretty much did nothing. Moving towards the Goblin's turn 3, one of the Stone Trolls failed his stupidity, the one of the stone, and stumbled forward. My boss was 1 inch short from charging with the random movement. The other Stone Troll managed to pass and get the charge off. The Fanatic flew back about 12 inches. My other Goblin unit's getting ready for a charge onto the Sisters, and the Cave Squigs repositioned to countercharge the Swordmasters. Doom Diver tried shooting, completely whiffed. Here's the overview for turn 3. Following the only combat, basically the troll did a single wound, lost, and fled. Javier decided to restrain, getting ready for the other Stone Troll and the boss. On to turn 4 for the High Elves. The army pretty much didn't move. The War Boss took a wound. The Cave Squigs didn't take a single wound off of the Sisters. We missed a combat, which will come back from the Turnock Chariot to the Doom Diver. But yeah, it's looking pretty bad for the Goblins, to be honest. The Swordmasters did reform, and I'm going to show you the unit that did take off the wound from the giant cave squig. Wrapping up the combat we should have done last turn, the Turnock did destroy the Doom Diver and overran 6 inches, but turn 4 Goblins, my Squigs got a pretty long charge into the Swordmaster of Hoeth. My Stone Troll did not rally, he is still fleeing. The Squig Boss and the other Stone Troll managed to get into combat with the Swordmaster of Hoeth. The Fanatic flew back, I think, a couple more inches, and then my new Spear unit managed to charge the Sisters of Avalorn who are hiding in the forest. So here's the overview. Following the brave turn 4 Goblins, my boss did an impact hit, a single one, and then died due to initiative. However, my Stone Troll did do 3 wounds, managed to win the combat. He fell back in good order, and we followed the 2 inches. The Sisters and the Night Golem unit tied combat. I'm actually disrupted because my unit's more than 25% in a forest. Going down, the Cave Squigs did very well. We managed to reduce the unit by a lot with the initiative bonus from charging. We did lose a few wounds, and we tied combat. Turn 5 for the Elves, I'm going to go kind of fast. The Sisters broke and fled the Spear Goblins. The Swordmasters beat my Cave Squig unit, however didn't roll high enough to fully pursue them and run them down. The Stone Troll actually won the combat above again. Javier passed and held his ground. I believe his mage ran somewhere else. Turn 5 for the Night Goblins. My Stone Troll finally rallied. However, my Cave Squig unit needed to roll Snake Eyes and failed. They are continuing to run off the board. My other unit of spear goblins are hiding to save points. Then my stone troll, the second one, lost combat. However, I rolled a 3, so I fell back in good order. So it looks pretty bad for the goblins, to be honest. Basically, I'm going to recap turn 6. We started to clean up when it came time to record, but the sword masters are there with his general. They are continuing to pursue my cave squigs. Basically, what I have left is a block of night goblins of spears and a stone troll. Javier has a level 2 mage, a unit of 5 Sisters of Avalorn, the Lothern Sea Guard, and the Turanok Chariot. Once you break down all the points and the victory conditions, Javier got over 900 points to my 150. And this portion, I'm hoping to get Javier to talk again. Somehow putting it into my audio, a video editor isn't picking up his voice, so I'm gonna just do a post-game analysis recap and explain what he had told me. Coming from the Night Goblin side, it was a massive loss, and the game overall was very good. I felt confident in my game plan. The Fanatics were a little bit disappointing. However, the Stone Trolls definitely held and carried my army a bit. They managed to pin down and cause some diversions, which I didn't expect. My general dying immediately was quite surprising too. That was a very big misplan on my part. The way I had angled the unit, I should have had the shaman and him switch spots. So when the Sword Massive Hoeth came charging in, they would only clip the side of my combat general and not the level 2 shaman. Coming from the demons to the goblin playstyle felt kind of strange because I'm not used to all the panic and fear elves and all the extra rules, but overall, I think the plan I had was solid, but the execution and some of the random movement, especially off my hoppers, threw off my game plan. Coming from Javier's tactical insight he had originally, I think he played really well. As he told me, everything did what he expected. The Turanok hunting down the Doom Diver was well executed. The Sisters of Avalorn targeting the Stone Troll, the Squig Boss, and my Cave Squigs was also crucial. You know, he was removing the units he felt were high priority. And I think his spells were well placed. The Tempest, I tried my best to dispel it, but I just couldn't beat what I think I needed was a 7 or 9. I can just check again, but I just couldn't dispel it. So he just killed this whole portion of the table where my hoppers and my important units were fixated around. But I hope you guys enjoyed the battle report. I'm definitely going to get Javier to talk. He, in fact, did talk. Just my audio or my video editor is not allowing it to port over properly. But the game was really fun. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Sorry that this video felt a bit more rushed and sporadic. I'm actually preparing for a tournament this coming weekend. So looking back at some of the videos I took weren't the highest quality. Some parts had to be cut and changed. So for the next report, I'll definitely pay a lot more attention to it. But till next time, guys, I hope you enjoy it.